Today, the word depression has become almost synonymous with unending sadness, a feeling that you can't get out of, and which seems to have taken over your life. When you are depressed, you might start believing that there is no way out except to quit everything and start over again. The good news is that this doesn't necessarily mean that your life is over. You can get through this challenge if you don't give up hope and use self-help techniques such as Stoicism to unlock your hidden potential and turn your situation around. Left unchecked, this feeling can quickly escalate into clinical depression, a condition in which a person experiences persistent low mood and loss of interest in activities that used to bring them joy. While clinical depression might be one of the most prevalent forms of mental illness today, it is also among the most misunderstood. As a result, many people tend to view depression as something that exists outside or against them instead of as part of their inner world, or at least they don't recognize its potential threat until it has become too late. Depression is a serious mood disorder characterized by low mood, loss of interest in activities that used to bring you joy, and often a decreased ability to function normally. Long periods of sadness or crying are common, and people with depression may also experience a loss of appetite or weight loss. Although major depression usually begins in the late teens or early 20s, it can appear at any age and last throughout a person's lifetime. Here is what Marcus Aurelius has to say on understanding emotional struggle. Today I escaped anxiety. Or no, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. One of the first and most critical steps in overcoming any kind of emotional suffering is to understand what has led you there in the first place. For many, self-awareness is the most significant part of this process, and one of the most valuable tools at your disposal is self-reflection. To fully understand your emotional struggles and turn them into growth experiences, you will need to be completely open and honest with yourself. The next step is to examine the mindset and beliefs that lie at the root of your emotional suffering. To do so, you will need to be patient and mindful of how you think and process information. When you are depressed, you might start believing that there is no way out except to quit everything and start over again. The good news is that this doesn't necessarily mean that your life is over. You can get through this challenge if you don't give up hope and use self-help techniques such as Stoicism to unlock your hidden potential and turn your situation around. Here is what famed psychologist Carl Jung has said about overcoming emotional challenges. Embrace your grief, for there, your soul will grow. For many, the idea of practicing a philosophy like Stoicism might seem a bit off-putting. After all, what's to stop you from becoming a new, depressed version of yourself if you try to adopt Stoic practices? You'll note that this is not the case. Stoicism poses a direct challenge to the way you think about things, and for this reason, you may find it difficult to fully adopt it. But don't worry, as it is possible to fully integrate Stoic practices into your life without becoming a depressed version of yourself in the process. Let's start from the beginning. Adopting a positive mindset is crucial to overcoming depression. You need to view your current situation as an opportunity to learn and grow, not a reason to wallow in self-pity. It is also important to maintain a sense of perspective, and while the things that have happened in your life might have been painful and difficult in the short term, they can also be used to shape your future positively. Seneca has given us these powerful words on happiness. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. If you are feeling sad, try to think back to what used to make you happy. If there is nothing, try to think of what used to bring you joy. When you can, try to reframe your negative emotions as positive ones, and be careful not to try to be happy too soon. You might find that you aren't in a place to do this yet, but you can be the one to create the change. Try to reframe your mindset by creating a positive image in your mind of what you want your life to look like in the future. When you're having a bad day, try to trick your brain into thinking about something else. It is important to not let negative thoughts run wild and create a negative atmosphere around you. Try to remind yourself that bad things happen to everyone and that you can get through them. The Stoic philosophy has several key tenets that can be extremely beneficial when you are struggling with a bout of depression. One such practice is the Stoic muscle, a technique that teaches you to practice self-care. The Stoic muscle refers to our ability to maintain a sense of balance even when we are experiencing emotional pain. The Stoics believe that while pain and suffering are real and will never be eliminated, we can use them as stepping stones to personal growth. If you have been feeling down for a while and you're wondering if you really should seek professional help, please consider the following. You are not alone. You are probably not in need of treatment, and you can get through this. The first step is to recognize that you are experiencing a difficult emotional situation, and that it is not the end of the world. The only way to overcome depression is to recognize it for what it is, and once you've done that, you need to figure out how you can get through it. When you are depressed, you might start believing that there is no way out except to quit everything and start over again. The good news is that this doesn't necessarily mean that your life is over. You can get through this challenge if you don't give up hope. Use self-help techniques found in Stoicism to unlock your hidden potential and turn your situation around.